Okay, so the next step is the diff on the, and this will be the ball diff, steps 7, 8 and 9. The shocks are sitting over there just waiting for the thread lock to cure, and then I'll get back to finishing them off later. So step 7, always sharp scissors, makes your life a lot easier with these little bags, otherwise you'll be dealing with all these little bits of, what do we call it, everywhere. Right, so we've got 2 bearings, 2 washers, a diff ring and a diff half. And so, yeah, we're moving on to, oh, I'm on the wrong page here. There we go, we're on the dirt one. Normally these come pre-built when you buy them from Schumacher, so we'll be building this up from scratch, which is good because you get to know all the different parts. I use the Core RC silicone ball diff for the balls, ball diff grease, and the black thrust grease, which is the Molly something, we just call it Molly, for the thrust race. So get them out ready. Might as well get all the parts out. Be careful opening the bag with the balls in. You do not want to drop these on your carpet. So what I'm going to do here is carefully open the bag, trying to leave the balls in the bag. And what I'm going to try and do is tip them out into my grease so I don't lose them rolling around on the table here. And there we go. Yeah, so they're safely in my grease. And then moving on to the last one here, bag 9, which has got the thrust race set up in it. Again, this has got balls in. Don't lose your balls. Never a good thing to lose your balls. Just ask my wife. So this one's got more parts in, so I'm gonna roll it out onto my tissue carefully. Screwdriver, flat one, get a bit of grease on there, and then just dab them on there, and you can tuck them into your grease so they're out of the way, or whatever you want to, however you want to do it. There should be 6 of these bad boys. Just tuck them there. Just right there out of the way. Okay, let's start. So first up we have got the bearings, the washers and so on. So we start off on this side. So we want a bit of grease. On here. That's where the diff plate sits. So a little bit of the silicone grease. We only use the black grease on the thrust race plate. Then we put one of the diff plates or diff washers on there. Give it a little twist so it's seated and it's on there. Then we want a washer, a ball race, and a washer and a ball race. So that's that part complete. Then we get your diff, and there's a raised section here, and it's flat on that side. So the raised section is going to be facing up when you build it like this, and you just slide it down over the bearings. So that's that part ready. So it's greased up. Next on, we do the other half. So just like we did with the first one, get some of this grease, silicone grease, smear it round on here where the plate sits. And then pop your plate on there, stops it from sliding around. Okay, give it a little twist so that's happy on there. Next thing is to get your balls and some grease into the diff itself. So use your screwdriver and you can scoop them up and drop them in. They're not a tight fit, but this kind of ensures that you get grease everywhere around the balls. You don't want them running dry, and just tuck them in. They're a few different ways you can do it. You can do it like this or whatever, but whatever works for you. But at least you're not getting not dropping them everywhere, and they're all dropping in the hole. Plenty of grease, it's all good. Right, 2 left. And then just use the screwdriver to squeeze them into place. There we go. 1 left. In you go. Give it a little spread around. Plenty. You can always wipe it off if you've got too much. Right, that is the balls in place. Plenty of grease, and then you can put the other diff half on the top. Give it a little twist to make sure everything's rotating smoothly. Spread all the grease around. So that'll stick together now because it's got lots of grease on it. Now we've got to put the thrust face together. So we start off with a clean screwdriver. We're going to get the screw. I believe this is a 2mm. Get the trusty MIP 2mm driver and sit it on there. So we start off with a grooved plate, and that's facing up. What I like to do here, actually, I'll put it on the screwdriver later because that's in the way. Put that over there. I'll scoop up my diff balls, my thrust balls, out of my grease, and dump them onto the washer here. So that's sort of 2 jobs in one. There you are. They're all stuck on there, and they are fully coated in the grease, and they're not going anywhere. So that's on there, and then I believe you have the groove side facing up on both washers, so it's grooved. They're both facing the same way. And there we go. So we drop you in there. That's ready. So then you've got to slide this through the diff. So we get my screwdriver. Now, is there a... trying to figure out which one it goes through. I will have to check. Yeah, so this little ring here is different to this side. So the screw with the thrust face on slides all the way through from this side, and then we got to put the retaining nut on. So we start off with the spring, so slide that in there, and then we've got to do this little section. Now I've never built one of these before because I've always had pre-built ones, so this guy here seems to slide through, and then the pin goes through the top. Use pin C to align the T-nut insert. Oh, I see. That's basically an alignment pin. That makes sense, I guess. And then you slip that on there. Use your fingers to slide in. As you wind the screw in with your other hand, you should find the end of the thread and start winding it in, and that pin will slide out. I can feel that sliding in, and that pin can drop out. There you go, the pin's out. Now you can just take up the slack. It's quite a tight fit, I guess, because it's new. So it's built, it just needs bedding in and adjustment. Now you can see if I turn that, the other half will turn the other way, and it's feeling nice and smooth. Lovely. Well, that's the diff complete. I'll worry about adjusting that when it's in the car, but yeah, happy days. With the diff, we have these 2 little tools for adjusting turnbuckles, and they work really well for setting up the diff. So you basically put one in each side, hold it between your hands and adjust it. I'll just pause the video and show you how I do it. Okay, so if you just get the nut on this side you can just literally slot these two tools, which come in the kit, which are great, and they work perfectly well. Slot one in each side of the ball diff, and you can cross them over, hold that in one hand, and just try and rotate the middle. And if it spins, it's a bit too loose. So it does slip a little bit. So I'm going to go for about a half a turn adjustment here. So about that much. Just check it's still smooth. And then I'll check again. It should be, yeah, I can make it slip if I really lean on it. So that's probably about right. What you'll find is once it's done like a 5-minute run in the car, it might need a little tighten up, maybe after 10 minutes. So yeah, that's a pretty quick way of getting it set up. Feels good, and yeah, soon have the car up and running.